Greetings, my drinking buddies. Today we're going to be talking about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and we're going to be making some original cocktails inspired by the show.
I'm your drinking buddy.
So growing up, Captain America and the Falcon was probably my favorite comic book, especially because it had been around so long. When my dad was a kid, it was his favorite comic. So we had that nice bond. He would read me the comics when I was a kid, and you know, that's a wonderful memory for me. So Captain America to me is one of my favorite superheroes, and the Falcon is very close behind him because he was often featured in those comics. Let's make some original cocktails inspired by the show Falcon and the Winter Soldier. All right, drinking buddies, let's make the Winter Soldier cocktail. And this cocktail is going to be a bottle-aged cocktail. So first up, we are going to do 2 ounces of rye. Today I'm using Rittenhouse. It's a nice bottled and bond bourbon, bottled and bond rye that lends really nicely to mixing. I find a lot of ryes have a strong butterscotch flavor, and I don't get that off of this one. So, I don't think we want butterscotch for this particular cocktail. Next up, we're gonna do an ounce. We're gonna do half an ounce of sweet vermouth. Half an ounce of sweet vermouth. And we're gonna do half an ounce of amaretto. Next up, we're going to do our bitters. I'm going to do Ango. And orange, both. All right. There are going to be 2 more ingredients in this cocktail, but one of them we're not going to put in until we shake it. And we're not going to shake it until it's been sitting in here for a while. So next up, we're going to add in some Spice Island mulling spices. This is a great kit you can usually get around the holidays. I always try to buy a couple of them at the end of the year when they're on clearance. But it's a great kit because it comes with a nice tea ball that you can use for many applications. And it comes with a lot of mulling spices. We're only using half a tablespoon for our application here. We're going to try to get this to go right on in. It is a heaping half teaspoon. So we know we got a couple allspice berries in there. We know we got a single clove. We got all the ingredients in there. And why did we add mulling spices to this? Well, it is the Winter Soldier after all. So I wanted to add in a winter element. And now we're going to add in our barrel age and bottle oak spiral. Now these are meant for a 750 milliliter bottle. We're putting it in a cocktail that's only a few ounces. So we're not going to need the full 14 days to get the flavor out of this because there's not much liquid in there. Now, if you're playing along at home, you don't need this fancy equipment like I have. You could just do it in a mason jar. We're gonna let sit in here for about a week, and then we're going to mix it with some juice, shake it up, pour it in a glass, and that'll be our Winter Soldier cocktail. But by then, a lot of these mulling spice flavors will have infused in here, as well as the barrel-aged, the barrel aging spiral will have infused a lot of flavor into this cocktail. So the Winter Soldier, it's aged because, hey, the man's over 100 years old. The Hydra would wake him up and make him go kill people in the middle of the night and then freeze him back. So we had to do an aged cocktail for this one. The Winter Soldier. All right, drinking buddies, so let's finish this Winter Soldier cocktail. So we have our bottle-aged cocktail here. We're gonna go ahead and add that to a shaker tin, and I went ahead and already filtered out the mulling spices and the spiral. So in here we just have the cocktail itself. To that we are going to add a 1/2 ounce of fresh squeezed lemon juice. I didn't know whether to go with lemon or lime here, but this one I'm kind of making on the fly since I had to bottle age it. Let's shake it up.
I'm your drinking buddy.
All right, let's see if I've created a monstrosity or something delicious. Oh. See, I knew those flavors would play well together. The winter spice is coming through really nicely. It tastes aged. You got some oak coming through. Lemon is a prominent flavor. Almond is a prominent flavor from the amaretto. This is just a really nice sour. It's a play on an amaretto whiskey sour type thing. And those types of cocktails have been around for a long time for a reason. The flavors go well really nicely together, and I recommend you try this one at home. Even if you're not a fan of the show, I believe it would work really well for a winter spice cocktail. Maybe even if you just enjoy that thing in April. Cheers. All right, drinking buddies, let's highlight a cocktail that's inspired by everyone's favorite character in the series, the Falcon. And there's a specific scene I'm thinking about in the show. This isn't really spoilery, so you're okay if you haven't seen it. Where they're somewhere in Europe, and he is served the usual, and this involves cutting open a snake and pouring some sort of snake juice into a shot glass. I don't have the ability to do this, so I got to emulate that a little bit. So we're going to begin with some European flavors that we're going to get in there through some European spirits. So we're going to begin with 1 ounce of gin, some London dry gin, and then we're going to second that up with some apple brandy. This is French apple brandy. We're going to do 1 ounce of this. I'm almost out of this stuff. It's pretty good. All right. We're going to stir this a little bit just to get it cold. That doesn't need to be fancy. Got it stirred. Now we're going to pour this into our shot glass. It shows this one with a skull since we are emulating a snake shot. So next up, to make the snake juice element, we're going to do some Angostura bitters to just kind of float on top. Just bought a new bitters today. Couple drops. I don't know, did like 8 little drops, not dashes, drops. And then we're going to do some Peychaud's bitters, which are nice and red. I ended up going probably more than I needed to with the Peychaud's bitters. If I were to make this again, I'd probably be a little bit more careful. This might taste just like bitters. And this guy's a shot. So, the Falcon. Well, I have invented something very delicious here. The gin is the most forward flavor, followed by apple, and then the anise from the Peychaud bitters is probably third. Ango comes in and rounds it out a little bit for the fourth. It's nice and sweet, but not too sweet. It's a little dry on the finish because of the gin. And yeah, this is a really good shot. Normally I don't do shots, but that was a good one. All right, drinking buddies. Next up, we're gonna make a cocktail for our fake Captain America, John Walker. In the comic books, he's more often known as U.S. Agent, and he's kind of a character that I never really took seriously in the comic books, but the portrayal of John Walker on the show has been so good that I feel like I like the character. I think you're supposed to not like him, but he's just got such a great story, and without giving anything away, John Walker is an excellent character, and I think he deserves his own drink, even if he isn't the real Captain America. So let's go ahead and do the John Walker, and I'm going to go ahead and do something a little weird here, and we're going to take this to a tiki place while also using bourbon. You know, that might be a crazy idea, but this is going to be a whiskey-forward cocktail because America's spirit is bourbon, and John Walker is the epitome of America. Decorated soldier rises to the ranks of Captain America. So we're going to begin with a ½ ounce of lemon juice. And a ½ ounce of blue curacao. This is going to give it a nice blue color. And I want it to be blue. It's also going to add some sweetness and some orange flavor. Things that I think will be nice in this particular cocktail. We're going to do a ½ ounce of maraschino. Had to buy a new bottle of maraschino. I get the smaller one, and it usually lasts quite a while. Next up, we're going to do a couple dashes of not Ango, but orange bitters. Ramp up that orange flavor we get from the blue curacao. All right, drinking buddies, I've retrieved our bourbon. We're going to use Jim Beam Black. Nothing says America quite like Jim Beam. And this Jim Beam Black is really, really nice bourbon for its price. We're going to do 1.5 ounces. Got the lemon juice in here, so we are definitely going to give this guy a good shake. Cheers.
I'm your drinking buddy.
All right, drinking buddies, I definitely succeeded in giving it a nice blue color. Looks like the ocean. I was wanting it to be a little bit more of a patriotic blue, but I'll settle for ocean blue because I did want this to be American, but also be a tiki type drink. So the John Walker, I think this is something that he would enjoy when he's on his shore leave and he's finally able to sit down at a bar. He orders a John Walker and they immediately bring this drink to him. I am immediately whisked to sitting on a beach, sand in between my toes, and a cocktail in my hand with pineapple fronds sticking out of it. This is a great tiki drink. The bourbon really is mellow in there. It just adds, you know, this is going to sound weird, but it adds a little bit of a vanilla and a little bit of a corn flavor. And I don't mean that as an insult. The corn is like subtle, but like a sweet corn. Like, I don't know. Orange is probably the most prominent flavor. Followed by cherry. Orange, cherry, vanilla. And then a little bit of that sweet corn flavor coming through. I did a little garnish here. I did 2 cherries and a piece of lemon zest. Nice to stir it around a little bit and a little treat to eat while you finish the cocktail. I mean, I probably won't eat the lemon zest, but I'll eat the 2 cherries. Well, hopefully everything turns out okay for our 3 cocktail characters, Winter Soldier, Falcon, and U.S. Agent, aka John Walker, aka fake Captain America. And I think the winner of the best beverage of the 3. Thanks for watching. Please hit that like button. And before you go, if you want to see great pop culture videos, great whiskey videos, great cocktail videos, mostly original stuff, click that subscribe button and then hit that alarm bell so that whenever I release a new video, you know. Thanks for watching.